Now, one thing the U.S. Department of Justice got right is when you've got for-profit corporations controlling everybody's health care, one of the other features we should be deeply concerned about is the consolidation of ownership and the concentration of market share. Anybody who tells you this is a free market is a myth. You know it, and I know it. We have a concentration of ownership that is clearly in the levels of oligopoly. You will not see competitive price pressures. You will only see an inelastic, meaning we need to live. Your choice isn't a free choice. Your choice when you're in the healthcare market is to die. That's your alternative. That is not a free choice. Over the last decade, hospitals in this state in particular, but elsewhere, have moved from nonprofit operations to for-profit operations, and there are now only 3 major corporations that own all of our access to emergency health through our hospitals. The concentration of ownership is triggering concerns that if we have antitrust, as you guys know, for the antitrust laws that deal with anti-competitive behavior, even according to the United States Department of Justice, in so many areas of for-profit healthcare, that concentration has triggered alarming levels of concern about the fact that we have major antitrust problems going on in our healthcare industry. And it's why the hands-off trust the for-profit corporations to control and fix our healthcare. It hasn't worked, it isn't working, and it's never going to work. According to a Harvard study recently put out a couple years ago, an estimated 54% of bankruptcies in this country were medical bankruptcies caused by the high cost of health care. This is not acceptable, it's not sustainable, this is not moral, and this is not sane. So given that it would cost about $77 billion, and this is nationally, by the way, not state, to provide full medical coverage to all Americans, taxpayers are presently subsidizing these for-profit corporations in the form of tax breaks, deductions for the advertising, deductions for their lavish salaries, costs, and trips. If we removed the current tax breaks for these industries, we could fund single-payer, universal health care for all. If we moved from a for-profit to a nonprofit delivery model of healthcare, we could fund a universal single healthcare system for all. The amount of insurance surpluses alone could fund total coverage for every single American for 8 years. We have spent billions more on Wall Street bailouts than it would cost us to provide health care to every single American for decades. We have already spent it. Even in the last 2 years, we have already spent orders of magnitude more than it would cost for a complete and comprehensive single-payer, universal health care reform. So the question is, where are our priorities? Close to home, for those of you, and I think most of you probably did follow the 208 Commission on Healthcare, being the healthcare advocates that you are, you will recall that Colorado's single-payer proposal was the only one of 5 proposals that actually demonstrated the ability to have a net cost savings estimated to be about $1.4 billion. It's a lot of facts and statistics to point out both what's broken and why I support this and why I think that we cannot wait another day for the reforms we need here. But to be truthful, my reasons for supporting single payer are even simpler than that. People who are sick should get the treatment they need when they need it. I want patients and doctors in control of health care, not insurance companies. And I want my health care dollars spent on health care, not on executive salaries, exorbitant retreats, middlemen, outlandish profits, or excess administration. And I think 1 or 2 of you here would prefer that as well. So these are some of the reasons that I'm really proud to be here with you today. Thank you for taking the time to join us and really put our actions where our mouth and our priorities and our values are. These are some of the reasons I was proud to be a co-sponsor of House Bill 1273, the Guaranteed Health Care Act, and why we need you. We need you now. The opportunity is now. The opportunity for national reform is now. The opportunity for state reform is now. We need you now, all of you, and everyone you know who cares about this system, and frankly, to recognize that healthcare is a basic human right for all. Thank you for being a partner in those reform efforts.